Before plastic cartridges and expensive systems, there was a rugged ceramic method that kept water safe in the worst conditions. It's reusable, low-tech, and surprisingly powerful. Here's what changed everything. Most people don't realize their water security depends on a delivery truck. It feels independent because the filter sits in the kitchen, but it quietly depends on factories, plastic cartridges, and a steady supply chain. The illusion of control disappears the moment replacement filters stop showing up. That is the part no one talks about. The weakness is not the water. The weakness is the system around the filter. Modern water filtration was built for convenience, not durability. It was designed for a world where you can replace something instantly. When that world pauses, even temporarily, the filter becomes a countdown timer. Every gallon brings you closer to a clogged cartridge you cannot swap out. And once that happens, you are staring at the same untreated water you were trying to avoid in the first place. Now imagine living in a time when replacement parts were not an option. During wartime shortages, civilians and soldiers did not have online orders or monthly deliveries, yet water still had to be made safer to drink. That is where the ceramic method quietly enters the story. It was not flashy. It did not require power. It did not require chemicals. It relied on one simple principle: density and pores so small that harmful organisms could not pass through. The reason this worked is not mysterious. Ceramic, when fired properly, becomes a hardened structure full of microscopic channels. Water can pass, larger contaminants cannot. Instead of trapping particles in disposable fibers, the ceramic body itself becomes the filter. That means the filtering surface is not something you throw away, it is something you clean. This is the shift most people miss. Disposable filters clog and get replaced. Ceramic filters clog and get scrubbed. That difference changes everything in a long-term situation. There is still an important detail here. Ceramic filtration removes bacteria and sediment effectively, but it does not magically remove everything. Chemicals and dissolved pollutants are another story. This method was designed for biological threats in water, not industrial contamination. That limitation matters. Real survival thinking always includes understanding what a method can and cannot do. The beauty of ceramic systems is their simplicity. There is no membrane that tears under pressure. There is no plastic housing that warps under heat. There is no electronic component waiting to fail. Water flows through gravity alone. Gravity does not run out of batteries. But even ceramic has rules. The element must remain intact. If it cracks, its effectiveness drops. If it freezes while wet, the internal structure can fracture. Maintenance is not optional. It requires routine cleaning to remove surface buildup. This is not a set-it-and-forget-it system. It is a relationship with your equipment. Here is the interesting psychological part. People trust modern filters because they are packaged professionally. Ceramic feels primitive by comparison, but primitive does not mean inferior. It often means resilient. If this kind of long-term thinking is useful to you, subscribe now. This channel focuses on systems that keep working when convenience disappears. Back to the ceramic method. The original wartime versions were often called candle filters because of their shape. They were mounted inside gravity-fed containers. Water sat above, filtered slowly, and collected below. Slow filtration is not a flaw. In fact, slower often means better contact time and more thorough removal of particles. Speed is what modern consumers expect. Durability is what long-term survival requires. Now think about the cost cycle most households fall into. Every few months, new cartridges are purchased. Over years, the total cost climbs quietly. Ceramic elements, when maintained properly, can last years before needing replacement. The surface can be gently scrubbed to restore flow. You are not discarding the filter body every time it slows down. There is another advantage that rarely gets mentioned. Ceramic filters are visible in their wear. You can physically see when buildup occurs. You can see cracks. You can feel changes in flow. With sealed cartridges, you often have no idea what is happening internally until performance drops. The transparency builds trust. You understand the condition of your filter instead of guessing. But we need to address a common misunderstanding before it spreads. No filtration method makes water universally safe in every scenario. If water is contaminated with chemical runoff, heavy metals, or industrial waste, ceramic alone is not enough. In those cases, combining filtration with boiling or additional treatment becomes necessary. Layered protection is smarter than blind confidence. What makes the ceramic approach powerful is not that it replaces all systems. It reduces dependence on disposable components. It creates independence from constant purchasing. It gives you a base layer of defense that does not expire on a calendar date. The maintenance process is simple but important. When flow slows, the outer surface is cleaned gently with a brush or scouring pad under clean water. The thin outer layer of trapped contaminants is removed, exposing fresh ceramic beneath. The filter body itself remains intact. This process can be repeated many times over years. That is the forever idea people misunderstand. Forever does not mean infinite without care. It means sustainable with maintenance. Think about how different that mindset is from modern consumption. Instead of replacing, you restore. Instead of throwing away, you maintain. That philosophy changes how you prepare. There is also a strategic advantage in uncertain times. Visibility matters. Disposable filters require packaging, branding, and availability. Ceramic elements are simple and generic. They do not depend on one manufacturer. They have been produced across continents for decades. Simplicity creates redundancy. Now imagine a long disruption. Grocery shelves thin out, hardware stores limit supplies, people scramble for packaged solutions. Meanwhile, someone who understands ceramic filtration quietly scrubs the surface of an existing element and keeps moving forward. That is not dramatic survival, it is steady survival. The story of wartime water purification is not about heroics, it is about adaptation. People used what was durable and repairable. Ceramic fits that category because it aligns with physics, not marketing. The pores inside fired ceramic are small enough to physically block many harmful organisms. Water pressure from gravity pushes liquid through while larger particles remain trapped. It is mechanical separation, not chemical transformation. That distinction matters because mechanical systems are often easier to maintain long-term. However, smart preparation never stops at one solution. Even with ceramic filtration, boiling remains one of the most reliable methods for eliminating biological threats. Heat is simple and predictable. Combining filtration and boiling gives an extra layer of safety when water quality is uncertain. The real message behind this method is independence. When you reduce dependence on constant purchases, you gain stability. Stability lowers stress. Lower stress leads to better decisions. There is a broader lesson here beyond water. Systems built on replacement create fragility. Systems built on maintenance create resilience. As you think about your own setup, consider how many tools in your home rely on consumable parts. How many require steady supply chains to function? The ceramic method challenges that assumption. It does not promise perfection. It promises sustainability. Water security has always been about understanding limits and working within them. Ceramic filtration offers a way to purify water that aligns with gravity, material science, and routine care instead of disposable convenience. Now here's the question worth asking yourself. If modern convenience disappeared tomorrow, which system in your kitchen would keep working without a store, without shipping, and without replacement parts? That question is bigger than water. It is about how you build stability in an unstable world. If you found this breakdown useful, watch the next video on layered water safety and long-term storage strategies. And in the comments, share whether you rely on disposable cartridges or long-term filtration methods. The conversation matters because real preparation starts with honest evaluation, not panic. The ceramic method endured through shortages for a reason. It was simple, repairable, and grounded in physics. In a world built on replacement cycles, sometimes the quiet, older method is the one that keeps flowing.